Hello everybody, White Games here, and welcome to Welker Farms map, but we're gonna do like a blank start. So I own all of the land. I don't want to sell it because I would get a ton of money for it. You can see on the edge there's some crop left. That's where you can't go with the editing tool. Or the terrain tool. So I've got started with a high horsepower tractor, mid-range tractor with a front loader attachment. This tractor is going to be our main workhorse because I centered most of the machines to be around 260 odd horsepower. This might be able to be run by the New Holland. I'm not very sure. So, as you can see, we still have $1.15 million. There's not really much I could do about that. I tried spending all the money that I could with editing the ground. I missed a spot here, obviously, but oh, it's weird it whipped me around. But we're just gonna go out here. Yeah, you can also get rid of the roads, which is nice because it gives you a true blank start. But the worst part is you don't really know where the road is. So I'm just gonna start here. Try and get myself going as straight as possible. Do I have to allow create fields? Yes. Okay, that's weird. So we're gonna try and make this field as straight as possible, but it's probably not gonna happen. Just gonna keep going here, figure stuff out. We're gonna try not to expand the fields too much, but eventually this entire map will probably be field. Besides, you know, an exception where there's a little bit of place where you don't really want to go near it, so I might put something there that stops me from going too close to it. So alright, I like that. So now we're just gonna go down to the end here and go again. I guess maybe we should flip this over and create like a little bit of a boundary. Yeah, I'm not really sure where the cars drive. I'd have to follow one and put it, watch where it goes, and then make a road out of that, just so I know where the cars go. Alright, I like that. Nope, fold back over, there we go. Alright, close enough. Now we've gotta make this similar in size to the other side, which is going to be very hard. You'll probably hear my PlayStation in the background there. I'm gonna have to call up Sony tech support for on the PlayStation line because it made that noise. Started making it actually shortly after I got it back from them. So I don't know if they like damaged it in transport or something. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get on the phone about that and just, bring up that it's making a noise that it should not be, and it started doing that shortly after I received it from being worked on. Well, I couldn't even say worked on because they didn't work on it. They gave it back after like 3 days, which was basically the time to ship it there and back. So I like that. I did a pretty good job. So now we've just gotta plow out the middle of the field here, and then we'll go over it with a disc harrow, because I was gonna go with a cultivator, but I just found that they wanted too much horsepower for what they could actually offer. Like, I was like, you know what, we'll go for a cultivator. I don't really like cultivators, but we'll go for one. To go with the plow, and we can loosen up the soil and stuff, so it's not all like clumpy or whatever, that it would be like in real life. And I noticed that after I got past like 3 meters, it was like 700 horsepower, it seemed like, and I was like, no, I don't really want that. So I started looking into disc harrows, and I really liked it. Eventually they're gonna have to give us chisel plows, because I can't take just plows anymore. Yeah, it was like after I got past here, it was like 300, and that was for a 6-meter one. Well, the one I got's 5 meters and half the horsepower. I think that's the one I got. I don't know. It's whatever one is over there. Oh my god, there goes that plane. Gotta give myself a boundary so I don't keep messing up the field. So yeah, there was no mods today, which disappointed me. I was really hoping for some mods, but I was enlightened with news that Black Sheep Modding is making the Weba, or maybe Jimpa, chisel plows. Or maybe they're not chisel plows, I don't know. They're the flat plows that are flat on the back, and they're not like this. I love those things. Why? Because it's flat, and you don't have to worry about it putting extra bits on the edge of the field. You've got a little bit more control because it sits right on the back of the tractor. But the downside is, because you're not pulling it along on the ground, it does require a lot more horsepower to be delivered to it, even if they're like 3 meters wide. Because in 17 they had them, and I think Black Sheep Modding was the one that made them, and it was like 3 meters, but it required like a couple hundred horsepower. I'm gonna have to fix up the edges of this a little bit better. Ugh. I've been wanting to call the tech support line for a bit, ever since it started making that noise. I was like, well, I better call them. And then, I'd always be streaming, and I was like, well, I can't really take away from that for like a week or something if they do decide to look at it or something. you know. Yeah, but I think something was damaged in transport, because if you shake it, you can hear a piece of plastic or something shaking around, and I'm not going to open it up and figure out what it is, but it's got to be something on the fan, because whenever it starts making that noise again, if it does during the stream, I'll stop the fan, I'll put my finger on it and stop it, and you guys will hear that it's clearly in the fan, but what exactly it is, not sure. You know, I really don't mind plowing a big field, but it's when I get to harvesting that's not what I like. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I got the modded John Deere that has the canola table on it and the 3 different cameras and the movable ladder on the back. I just love that thing. I mean, I know the in-game one isn't modded. It's because it's an exact copy of one, but I think it's really cool. And I was proven wrong on the multi-harvest headers, or multi-fruit headers, or whatever they're called. I thought they'd be headers, you know, that you'd put on the front of a combine, and, you know, it would be like, you could harvest all these crops with one header, you know, like one standard grain header, but no, it was for forage harvesters, which disappointed me, because, you know, I wanted something like a grain header that I could have one of those, and it would harvest every single crop type that I could put down with it, and, you know, it'd be good with that. Because on a series like this, where I might want to do like 1 or 2 rotations where, you know, it's like soybeans, soybeans, corn, or whatever, you know, like like they do around my area, and just about everywhere else that you would do corn. You know, you gotta rotate it. That way you don't kill the soil conditions. But, you know, because I know there's some people out there that have made multi-fruit header, I guess you'd call it fruit, multi-fruit headers, where you put some extra stuff on your grain header and you can harvest sunflowers or corn with it, you know. But, that's not what we were getting. We were getting some low budget forage harvester headers that were already in the game. You know, it's nothing new that's a lot bigger, you know, where I might go for that, you know, or something. But nope. I'm gonna make a little field over there after this, for grass. And then we can do grass bales and stuff and silage. Although, I'd have to get bunkers and stuff, because there isn't a, biogas. Yeah, got a lot of stuff. I might just sell my, look how close that rides to the ground. That is crazy. I don't know how many of you guys are on Twitter, but if you follow, I think it's Coon North America, well, it might just be Coon, or it might not be Coon, I don't know, I didn't look into it too much, but it was it's called like the iPlow or something, but what it does is it puts 1 furrow in the ground at a time, or, no, those things are furrows, the little lines, it puts the, what do you call these things? The mold boards. There we go. It puts 1 mold board in at a time, which I thought was really cool because it creates square passes. You know, because at the end it lifts up 1 at a time. I assume. I don't know. It didn't show the whole process of it. It showed the tractor lifting it up, spinning it around, and then putting it down, and it said I Plow by like Coon or something, and I was like, that is sick. You know, and I was playing Farming Simulator at the time, and I was like, we don't have anything like that in here. I thought, although that'd be too big, or not too big, too hard to code in. But it was just a plow that rode with the tractor. It wasn't a pull behind, it was a 3-point mount. I want to get a little tractor, get a little, like, show you kind of plow that I would want to get. It'd take forever to do anything, but maybe like a 2 or 3, they call them plowshares here, but I think should come with this. So stupid for not. I think if you go here, yeah, they're called mold boards. So I'll just go with mold boards. They might be called plowshares, I'm not very sure. And I honestly don't care. It's a battle I'd like to not fight. But yeah, like I said yesterday with my review of this map, and it was a map tour and a review at the same time, but I'll do Car Mechanic Simulator in like a week or so. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, not really sure. But yeah, looking to get into that game because I work on cars a little bit. I know my way around a car. So if somebody says, "Oh, it's making a knocking noise," you know, it's probably in the engine. You know, I've had experiences watching my dad change tires and changing brake pads and changing fluids and stuff for the engine. But that's about my extent with car knowledge. So I'm sure he'd be great at the game. I don't know if you have to pick up different like wrenches or something. I know FS Club's got a series going on it, but the reason I play games a lot is because I don't like watching people play them, because I feel like I get confused, you know, I don't really know what's going on, and, you know, it's like, oh, they're going through the tutorial, they're doing all this stuff, and then I shut it off, and I'm like, I want to do that, and then I'm just like, I can probably do it way better than them, you know, and then I get in, and I'm completely lost, and then I start watching the videos, and then I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna need this or something, you know, something stupid. But yeah, but if you notice, there's buildings like that, there's outcrops of like trees. Well, that's where you start at, so. But whatever. Yeah, the cultivator is a bit bigger than this. This is like 4.3 meters, and the cultivator is 5 meters, so, you know, how much horsepower does this take? 225. Oh my god. That's what I like about those plows, you know. They're easy. Any tractor in the medium tractor section should be able to. The only tractor that I know that can't pull it is... Actually, wait, half of the medium-sized tractors can't pull that. And I know that for a fact. Supposed to make like a diamond on the end. Alright, we're gonna get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, but I would settle for just like, you know, a little Kubota tractor, you know, something that I could learn to do stuff on, and little tiny plow, little tiny seeder, nothing too big, and you know, that's all I need. What is going on here? We're gonna set that off and move it. Vehicle options. Nope. Okay, we're gonna. Yep, we're just gonna set that there. Alright, so I'm not screwing around with that, and we're just gonna. Any map that something doesn't work right off the bat is just a failure of a map. And you know, you just don't need that. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to get our money down. I might even build myself a little farm. I'll create fields. Yeah, I might set down some buildings or something, or some sheds. You know, knock our money down. Because I know buildings and stuff take, like, a lot of money. Like, you're looking, like, $10,000 or $15,000 a building, you know. So. Alright, you hear it? You hear it? Now you don't. It's gotta be something in the fan. That's all I can think. There it goes again, the fan turned back on. I can always tell when the fan turns on because that thing starts going. It's like, oh my god. I'm gonna have to put a piece of tape on that or something to stop the fan from going, but just get something to blow over the top of it to, you know, take heat away. So, phone's at 20%. I really don't care. You know, over the weekend, I was playing Farming Simulator for a bit, and then I went to, there was like 7 of us that went over to my friend's grandfather's farm, and we threw hay bales and stuff. Well, we didn't really throw them. On the one barn, we threw them on the elevator, and people stacked them. I was helping get bales out of the trailer, and in about 45 minutes, you know, we could get 300 bales out of a trailer. So it was anywhere from like 240, or not 245. It was somewhere from like 275 to like 300 bales per trailer, and trailers were pretty big. So gotta take these drawers out behind me because anytime I lean back on this chair, they start making noises. So then we switched barns and stuff, and I got up in the hay loft and was helping 5 other people. But it was getting hot, and you know, in this game you don't really take notice to how heavy the bales are, but in real life, you know, well, I guess not really, because Giants doesn't put a small baler in, so baling technology, yeah, there we go. We don't have it here on console, but there's a New Holland baler with trailers, and that's exactly what they run. Or not a New Holland, it is a New Holland, it's just like a red version of this, and it's got a thrower thing on the back. But this is just about what they use, but it's red, it's got a thrower on the back, and we don't have it on console. Yeah, but with those bales, you don't really see how big they are, but in real life, they're pretty big and heavy. Although, if you tried, you could like bear hug one to move it around. That's what I did for like 2 trailer loads. They would just like fall from the stack, and you just bear hug it. At least that's what I did, but everyone else got like hooks and stuff to use. I got one occasionally to pull down bales that were higher up on the trailer, you know, bring them down along with like 3 or 4 other ones, but that was about it. Oop. This will definitely be a bit of a chore to work with. Actually, I'm just gonna make it a lot easier on myself, and hang on, watch this. I did so much clearing. There's no grass. Oh, it's just a field, okay. Alright, well, here's what I wanted to do. Traffic off, there we go. I'm gonna live stream until somebody says the dinner's ready. So, it could be an hour, it could be an hour and a half, I'm not really sure. Yeah, this is the really boring part of farming that you don't see when you gotta create a brand new field and ugh. Honestly though, if I was gonna create a fresh field, I think I'd get a little like chisel plow, because you know those come in like really small stuff. That's what this is. It's a chisel plow. They come in really small sizes, like compact sizes, and you know, use a chisel plow, make it square, and there you go, you get yourself a square field. And this is definitely not a square field, so but you know, whatever. It's got the biggest slant I've ever seen. Look at that. Bring this in here. There we go. You know, this in the beginning it didn't look like it was going to take that long, but it's been 28 minutes. We're just about halfway through. Although we didn't do any buying at the beginning. I did that off camera. Yeah, I wouldn't need anything like this for a starting tractor. Like I said, I'd take a little Kubota, but if I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised Kubota's not in the game, because, I mean, Kubota could get a lot of brand recognition from, like, smaller farmers if they put their stuff in the game, but I think Giants is trying to deter people from taking too easy of a start, you know. They're just like, oh, we're gonna buy a whole bunch of Kubotas and set them off to do work, you know, because if you get like 7 or 8 low horsepower Kubotas going, you know, with like semi-decent or semi-usable cultivators or plows, you know, you can get a whole field knocked out in just a couple of minutes or so, or just maybe an hour, and all you gotta do is just use those Kubotas. Although I guess slot counts and stuff would limit how much of a fleet that you could have. So with a map like this, you know, you could probably run like 1 or 2 Kubotas, you know, usable. That's all I'd run. Like if they added there we go, that usually works if I just slam my foot on it. But if they added Kubota in like a DLC in the next like month or something, You know, I'm probably still going to be running this series in a month because it's going to take forever to just use up all this land and make it workable. You know, I'm sure by the end of this we'll be running 5, 6 combines. You know, well, what's our slot count at already? Alright, we're at half our slot count, although slot count takes in all these trees and stuff. Each tree is like half a slot or something. So, if we get rid of the trees and stuff, you know, and that's just making sure they fall the right direction so they don't fall down in the eternal pit and get lost there forever. So yeah, if we go through with a chainsaw and start cutting trees down and stuff, you know, we're gonna lower the slot count. Well, I think we gotta sell them too. But yeah, back on the topic of Kubota, if they burned out a Kubota DLC in the next month, as long as I'm still working this area and not anything bigger, I'd opt for a Kubota. You know, to add to the fleet, you know, we could just drive the Kubota around or something. You know, that could be our little mowing tractor or bale moving tractor, you know, because I think I'm going to still go through with, the, grass thing. I'll just do that more off camera, because I don't think it's necessarily worthy of, this live stream, so, yeah. I'm gonna wait till this just gets to 35 minutes and I'll end it there. That wheel is getting cleaner by the minute. How does that work? How do you clean yourself? By driving on this versus driving on dirt? Because those three wheels are dirty because they're on dirt. That one is not. Don't know how that works. Ugh. So, live stream is gonna be done for now. I'll probably do a little bit more later, but for now, I'm done.